Hey, what's up, Reefers? This is probably the last video of 2015. Just want to do a really quick recapping. Want to show you the environment that the tank is in for a change. So that's why I kind of started from a pretty far out view. So now it's December 30th, and the Christmas tree is still up. I am expecting it to be to be up until possibly June of 2016. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because last year I actually stayed up pretty late. All right. So a little recap of the tank. Obviously, the tank has not been up for more than a year yet. If I remember right, this tank went up about April of 2015. So that makes this tank about 8 months, almost 8 months, a little bit over 8 months old now. And before I started this tank, I've always wanted to do a cube tank. I really like the dimension, the width and length ratio. I just thought with all those depth, you can kind of do all kinds of aquascaping with it, and that's why this time around, I went for a cube tank. This tank is a little bit shallower than I was expecting. I was expecting like a complete cube, 24 by 24 by 24. The one that showed up turned out to be 24 by 18 in height, which is fine. I mean, I like it as well. Although, if there's one thing I would change is that I should have gone for the 90 gallon. That would make it 36 by 36 by 36, because this right here, my sofa's arm is actually 36. So a 3-foot tank, 3-foot cube tank would be perfect here. But when I was first starting out, I checked a couple used tank, and one of them was that dimension. It was really intimidating when I was looking at it. It was just so big, and the glass, it was glass too. It was a glass tank, so the glass was really thick as well. So it was really intimidating, especially for some initially when I restarted this tank. I wanted something lightweight and just simple. I never expected to get this deep into it again. So I kind of pass on that 90-gallon cube tank, and when this 45-gallon cube tank showed up, I was like, oh, okay, this is cute, this is really manageable, not intimidating at all, and I jumped on it. So this is how the 45-gallon cube look as of about 8 months in. Let's get some closer look. You can see I kind of repositioned the Ricotti a little bit so they are not being blasted by water. And kind of tuck them in. The blue one on the right hand side is pretty strong, it's pretty big, so it acts almost like a shield. It never had any issue with water current, so it's kind of right at the tip. And I tucked in the orange and the pink. And I moved the orange torch, Australian orange torch, to that position, and it seems to really like it. It's really nice extension. And the clam kind of rotated itself a little bit. I guess I was positioning it wrong. Let me zoom in a little bit. Pardon the noise. I guess the orientation was wrong in terms of water current and its siphons. So it kind of reoriented itself. The gland attaches to the bottom plate, like the ceramic plate, actually came loose by itself, and then it kind of reattached itself. So I guess that's a good thing. Zoas are pretty much all open nowadays, except from time to time. Certain colony, like that eagle eyes right there, is partially closed, and that's fine. I mean, just that one. And I kind of checked. I don't see any pests, so hopefully it'll come around. And moving on up, we're actually looking at 3 bubble tip anemone right now. So I started with 1 rose bubble tip anemone, and I got another one that is brighter orange. So I sold the original rose bubble tip anemone, and that's actually the more orange one. But for some reason in my tank, it got duller. It's like a dull red right now, and it also split, and that's this guy right here with like a big bubble in the front. So I guess this guy, when it split, it did not get a part of the mouth. So for the last maybe 2 weeks, it has been trying to grow a mouth, and that's what that big bubble piece is. I guess the tissue is trying to form itself, so it's looking a little bit awkward, but it is getting bigger, and it continues to look really healthy and reactive to water currents and light, so that's a good news. And this guy actually, I think it grew to larger than when I first got the mother anemone. However, from time to time, when the light is a little bit more blue, right now it's full blast on white, when the light is a little bit more blue, I started seeing the orange fluorescent coming back. So hopefully in a couple months, when it's more used to my tank, the orange will come back in full blast. Since we're talking about bubble tip anatomy, this is the super bright one that I picked up earlier. Like maybe what was it, 3 weeks ago now? The tip is still has a nice fluorescent color. Obviously the yellow is not showing, but the color brightness is retaining. So I'm kind of glad. I'm just kind of crossing my fingers, and we'll see once it settles down what kind of color it will decide to take on. Another really interesting thing is that some of my zoas got big. Look at this guy. So these started out similar to these guys, same size, but for some reason it just got a lot bigger up there. I guess it's happy. But unfortunately, a little bit higher up, these close ones are brushed up against the bubble tip anatomy, so there's nothing we can do about it. They just kind of stay closed, and once in a while, when an anatomy is not fully open, those zoa polyp will open a little bit until get stung by the rose bubble tip again. Same thing up there. There's a tiny colony of watermelon zoa up there too, kind of encircled by the frog spawns, but the frog spawn just grew huge, so they're being stung too, and that's why they're always closed. So frog spawn, my favorite corals, or one of my favorite corals, growing well, no complaints at all. And ever since I started doing that LPS food, things have been just opening more and more. Actually, the thing that I'm really happy about is the SPS. The Capricornus Monipora, they started plating. How awesome is that? I started a tiny frag of forest fire digitator right there, and it did not go well. It just bleached out. I think I moved it up too quickly. But Monipora Capricornus is doing really great. Can't wait for it to start scrolling. And my Gorgonians doing awesome. The one in the front has some nice little growth. The one in the back, I'm not too sure. I haven't paid too much attention to it, to be honest. So, and green star polyp definitely spreading. I'm gonna start watching it, make sure it's not gonna take over the Gorgonians, and everything else is doing great. So this is the last update of the year 2015. I wish everybody have a really great new year. And I guess next time I talk to you guys, it'll be 2016. Alright guys, enjoy the weekend and talk to you guys next year.